Guys, we got to be omnipresent. The days of email only are dead, right? Like if you have an audience, right, and you're building the audience, you're staying in front of the audience, you can't just be email. I don't care how good you are.
Welcome to Show Me the Nuggets, where each week Joe chats with world-class entrepreneurs to find out the key principles, strategies, and processes that lie behind their outstanding achievements. Now, your host, the no bullshit serial entrepreneur, Joe Troyer.
So guys, one of the things that I found is that perception is huge. How many of you guys have found it hard to scale a client's perception of you? Right? You meet with a client one time and they love you, and you're God's greatest gift to mankind, right? The next person you meet with thinks like you're stupider than a box of rocks, right? Like there's no consistency. So one of the things that I've been really thinking about is how do we do this at scale? How do we build, right, that know, like, and trust? Well, we do that by giving them that free offer, but what else can we do? Right? How do we get them to buy into our bigger ticket projects and processes? How do we get them to go from spending nothing to spending $5,000 a month with us? Like, what do we need that customer thinking about in order for that to happen, right? Where do they need to be at mentally? What do they need to see in order to take that leap, okay? We're going to show them value right away, right? But that doesn't mean that they're going to be ready to jump from free to $5,000 a month. At the end of the day, guys, like, you guys know me. I'm all about showing results and crazy freaking results. But what beats like a marketer's results to a local business owner, to a realtor, or whatever niche you're getting into, is seeing other people in the space kill it, right? That's much more relevant to them. A realtor seeing other realtors have success is a completely different story and way better than an agency showing them a case study, right? It means a whole lot more coming from a friend, a peer, a competitor, right, in the space, a realtor, right, than coming from an agency owner or agency sales rep talking about a case study. So I want you guys to think for a second about how you manufacture that. And I don't say manufacture in a bad way, but how do we do that in our agency? How do we see them people having success? How do we see our prospects, our customers relating to people or saying, shit, man, I want to grow my company like that realtor did, right? I want to strive for that level, right? They sold 30 homes last year. I want to hit 30 homes, right? They sold 10. I want to hit 10. I'm only at 2, right? How do we get them to strive for the next level? Okay, so by all means, interviews are good, but it's hard to get interviews, right? It's hard to get video testimonials. Like, can you get them? Yes. Should you get them? Yes. But it's also a lot, guys, just about perception. Okay, so if I get one of my clients to come on and say, like, this is the results that I got for that customer, like, that's great. But do you guys know how hard it is to get somebody to say what you want them to say? Right? Like, I need you to say this. And then you go to record them and they say the opposite. Right? They're like, Joe helped me so much in my business. It was great. You should do it. And that's probably better than most of their videos. Okay, so this is what we're doing. There's also no real reason for them to do that for you, even if you've helped them, right? They don't see anything in it for themselves. So what we're doing is we're running a podcast in the niche, okay? And we're interviewing experts from the niche, okay? So we can get somebody on, and the title of the podcast can be how Marcy went from 3 homes a year to 50. Right? Now, guess what? When I'm emailing my customers, when I'm not running a webinar, I can promote this podcast, right? And I can talk about how Marcy went from selling 3 homes a year to 50. And that person raises their hand and goes, yeah, I want to be like Marcy. Do you think that that is a good thing for your brand or a bad thing? You can be tied to that person's success even if you didn't do the marketing for that person. And there's something now in it for Marcy. She gets to come to an audience and speak, right? She gets to show her peers what's going on, right? She's got bragging rights versus her just recording a testimonial for you. There's nothing in it for her to record a testimonial for you. Imagine the difference in your marketing if once a month you dropped out a podcast, just once a month, with an expert in the niche that you chose to go after. In this example, realtors, talking about how they blew up in the last 1 to 3 years, how they blew up their company. Do you think that that would help your marketing? Yeah, without a fucking doubt. So The second way that we amplify, the second way that we are really, really crushing it with this is, guys, we got to be omnipresent. The days of email only are dead, right? Like if you have an audience, right, and you're building the audience, you're staying in front of the audience, you can't just be email. I don't care how good you are, right? I really don't care. You need to be in omni-channel. You need to be everywhere. You need to be top of mind, aware at all times to your prospects, all times, okay? I'm sure that you guys have seen this from me. You can't go to YouTube without seeing my face, right? You can't go on certain sites without seeing my face on Google Display Network or seeing the Digital Triggers logo, right? You can't go into Gmail and not see an ad, right, with my company on it, with my face on it. I am freaking everywhere. It's all retargeting. Do you know how much that costs? Like pennies, right? I pay when you see an ad. Better yet, get this. Better yet, get this. If I run a CPC, right, as the type of bidding, a cost per click campaign, right, I only have to pay for it when you see it. So I'm getting free branding all day, every day. You can't get me out of your head, right? And I'm only paying when you click on an ad. So all that's free branding and exposure the 99% of the time that you don't click on the ad. All that you see is me. Okay, so you should be everywhere, right? You should be everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean Google Display Network, right? Which accounts for like 90% of the traffic on the internet, right? You should be on Facebook. You should be on YouTube. You should be in Gmail, okay? And for those of you guys that don't know, you can control YouTube, Gmail, and GDN. Let's do it like this. Facebook, I'd recommend doing inside of Facebook, right? Instagram, you can do right inside of Facebook. For retargeting, I'd do that just for simplicity. Google Display Network, YouTube, and Gmail, this can all be done right inside of Google Ads. Okay, so one platform, you get all of this. And if you set it up on a CPC basis, you're only paying when somebody clicks. I'll share with you guys a crazy case study on why this is just fucking critical to scale. So just the YouTube ads alone, I was going all out blitz in preparation for the Mastermind Open. So guys, this is my very first attempt at running retargeting on YouTube for webinars specifically. And it worked. I was going for volume and lots of volume. Because of that, my costs were a little higher than they could have been. I could have toned it down, probably chopped the cost per click in half, but that wasn't the goal. The goal was volume. So I don't care what niche, what vertical you're in, you need to be running YouTube ads. If you aren't, you guys are freaking losing the boat. I don't care if you're doing personal branding. I don't care if you're doing e-com. I don't care if you guys run your own agency. You sell an info product. It doesn't matter. You need to be here. Okay. So I was getting 50-cent clicks. 50% of people opted in. So I was getting dollar registrations, specifically targeting you guys, right? It was retargeting only, not cold traffic, right? So dollar opt-ins for a webinar registration, we ended up pulling in over 200 registrations alone from YouTube. Okay, over 200 registrations from YouTube. Okay, so that was great. And I'll break down the math for you, share with you guys kind of what that means for me. It's a little weird. I'm sharing this case study with you guys so directly, and this is who I was advertising to. So forgive me if I stumble a little bit. It's kind of an awkward situation, right? And I share this with you guys not to brag, but I want you guys to go run with this, and it's so relevant to what we were just talking about, okay? So webinar attendance is down, and this feeds right into being omnipresent, right? It is harder and harder and harder all the time, guys. I don't care how good you are with your audience. It's getting harder and harder to get people to show up for webinars. I got a lot of free branding with those YouTube videos. I got a lot of registrations. Trust me, I made a lot of money on the $1 webinar registrations. But what I didn't expect was for my show up rate to more than double, okay? So I took 16 random webinar sessions over the last 12 months. So check this out, 15% attendance rate. For me, guys, that sucks, right? I'm used to averaging over the years, right? 30, 35%, 25% being like a bad webinar, okay? The struggle is real, right? You need to be omnipresent, okay? So me running those YouTube ads, I got a lot of registrations, but what I didn't expect is look at my attendance rate, 43% attendance rate, right? Like this is what's crazy, 43% attendance rate. That's unheard of. That is absolutely unheard of. Okay, so this is a big testament to being omnipresent, guys. I made my money back on this campaign many times over. I hope you guys are digging this shit. Nobody's talking about this stuff. I can share one more little piece with you guys. One more little piece. So this is the math. Okay, we had a 50% registration rate for the webinar. We had a 43% attendance rate, and we had a roughly 20% conversion rate on the webinar. Okay, so essentially what that means is we got 25 clicks in order to get a sale. Okay, at 50 cents a click, we're paying $12.50 to get a sale of at least $999, right? At least. Check this out right here. 7,992% return on ad spend. That is nuts. And guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So what I want you guys thinking about when we're talking about scaling, right? We're talking about being omnipresent. Okay, when you're running that offer of the month, get it set up and run ads, right? During that time, the week you're doing the webinar and the replay, be omnipresent with that. Target your audience, stalk your audience, stay in front of them and blow it the fuck up like I did. If you are truly omnipresent, guys, you will freaking destroy it. Okay, and you will get a nutso ROI just like I talked about. Okay, but you gotta stay omnipresent, I believe. Okay, millennials are becoming the buyer's market. Millennials want to see faces. They want to get to know you. Get out from behind the camera, right? Show them your face. That and omnipresence is how I believe we're going to truly start destroying these big brands, because these big brands, nobody's bonding with anymore. You bond with them. That's what's going to make the sale. Right? And if you want one little piece of extra advice, figure out a cause, figure out a charity, right? Millennials want to do business with people that have a face, right? That they can know, like, and trust, right? That they can admire, but also they like companies that have a cause, right? You got two companies side by side. One has a cause, one doesn't. Which one are you going to invest in or do business with? If everything else is the same, right? The one that gives 10% back to X charity, the one that does this with their cause.
Thanks for tuning in and Show Me the Nuggets. If you've been enjoying the podcast and find our content helpful, please visit our Apple Podcast page, hit the subscribe button, and leave us a review. Joe and the whole team have been working hard to bring more value to the show. Your feedback will go a long way in helping us make the show better and reach a wider audience.